Aquatic biome.
Marine zone thermocline. A thermocline is the transition layer between warmer water and cooler water. It's where the temperature starts to decrease dramatically.
Marine zones halocline. The halocline is where the sea water and the DHAB water mix. It's very small, and many things get trapped in the halocline because they're unable to sink into the DHB water because they're too buoyant.
Abiotic factors, estuaries. An estuary is a transition zone between saltwater and freshwater. It has a low salt percentage and it runs like rivers and streams.
Abiotic factors marine. The Atlantic is saltier than the Pacific, and all oceans get colder as they go deeper, and the amount of light decreases.
Abiotic factors, wetlands. A wetland is freshwater and saltwater together. It typically has a high amount of mineral soil, meaning that there's a lot of soil, and in that soil is a lot of minerals. It also gets a lot of sunlight and has little to no currents.
Abiotic factors freshwater. Freshwaters consist of lakes and ponds and rivers and streams. They have a very low average salinity level, and their temperatures change due to the season and where they are on the globe. In the winter, ponds can freeze over completely. Ponds are shallow and can support rooted plants and photosynthesis. Lakes are deeper and can only allow photosynthesis on the top layer near the shore. Ponds and lakes are standing water and do not produce waves unless wind creates them. Rivers and streams are bodies of water that move in one direction and often originate from a lake or a pond. Abiotic factors marine zones. The Paleogenic. However you pronounce it, zone, as its light decreases with depth and the pressure decreases with depth. The benthic zone light decreases with depth once again, and pressure increases with depth. It has many rocky outcrops and sand beds.
The kelp forest main producer is kelp. It has holdfast that keep the kelp anchored to the ground and gas-filled bladders that keep the leaves at the surface of the ocean so that photosynthesis can occur. The sea urchin is a consumer that has spines on the side on all around it that protects it from predators like the otter. The spines act as porcupine quills. Its five-fold symmetry helps it move much like a starfish, and its mouth has spikes which allow it to scrape algae from the rocks. Aquatic interactions. Intraspecies interactions are such as orcas competing for mates and food, and interspecies is octopi competing for lobsters with the sharks. Symbiosis example is that clownfish get protected by anemones, but anemones don't really gain anything. And a mutualistic is cleaner fish. They go into larger fishes and clean any parasite or dead cells from the inside of the fish. And an example of predator-prey is a barracuda who hunts small fish, and the small fish generally travel in schools, and their reflective scales throw the barracuda off. This is an example of the food pyramid.
One of the endangered species is the blue whale, and blue whales are victims of whaling companies. This is the question slide, and visit the next slide for
The next slide is